And what do you think about what happened in Mississippi? I find this, what?
It's my favorite story ever.
This fascinating that the black people came out. And, of course, the reason they did was not because Thad Cochran is a great champion of the causes of the black people. It's because they're 36% of the vote, and they know they will never elect a Democrat, so they might as well vote for the least shitty choice on the Republican side.
And it was wholly rational for African Americans to get involved because, look, when the South was run by the Democratic Party, people said, are you crazy, African Americans, for trying so hard to register and trying to vote in a region, in a party that doesn't want you? But that is where the political action was. And so the Bob Moseses of the world, the SNCCs of the world, the SCLCs were registering black voters as Democrats at a time when Democrats hated them. And now Republicans run the South. And so it's completely rational for African Americans to say, this Republican nominee is probably going to get the job. We need to choose the least bad option in a state that is essentially a ward of the federal government. 49% of their budget comes from the federal government. The other guy was saying, we're going to strip this state of all of its resources, and good luck. And by the way, I'm going to have poll watchers to come and watch you vote.
Right.
Yeah, the black people voted for the other guy.
And the Tea Party is so upset. Rush Limbaugh said, insider Republicans in the Senate bought 8 or 9% from the black Uncle Tom voters. And I don't even know what that means. But then Rush and I don't do the same drugs. But Sarah Palin talked about maybe starting a third party, which she would never do because it would involve work. But this has upset them in a way that you could see them splitting off. I remember it wasn't that long ago when the Tea Party was claiming, we're not Republicans, we are a completely independent party, don't lump us in. Do you think we could actually see a split?
Keeping my fingers crossed. This would be a good thing for everybody, starting with the Republicans, I think, if they could get that distance.
Right.
You know, the Tea Party would break away. Maybe some sensible voices can be heard finally.
You know, this has happened before in history. In Germany in the 20s and 30s, there was this right-wing reactionary element that was so terrified of anarchy and communism that they said, you know what, there's a group of street thugs that are real ideologues and they're willing to take it and they're willing to bloody themselves. And, you know, once they get into power, we can control them. And that was why they backed them. We can control this. And what they didn't realize...
Is that a stretch? Nazis versus the Tea Party who just want smaller government?
What is true is that ideologues are only loyal to ideology.
And also, I don't know, I mean...
The Tea Party's ideology isn't to take over Europe. It's for smaller government and less tax.
But they are still ideologues. They don't want to compromise. He used reach across the aisle.
Elizabeth Warren an ideologue. Both sides have ideologues.
When you don't compromise, you're an ideologue.
What's that?
When you don't compromise, when you don't reach across the aisle, when you don't participate in the democratic process,
one could argue the opposite. One could argue that's having a strong belief system. And, you know, Obama's on TV all the time saying, I'm not going to compromise with Congress. I'm just going to do it myself. And why is that a good thing?
Well, he's saying he's not going to allow the government to be shut down.
Yes.
Like, the extremism of the Tea Party. And also, I don't believe people when they say they want smaller government because they still want their Medicare. They still want all their benefits. They don't want the patent office to stop enforcing the Washington football team's name. And that would be small government.
And they want FEMA when there's a hurricane.
Exactly, exactly.
They don't want the money to go to the takers.
Right.
Not
NPR.
recognizing that they themselves are.
Especially in Mississippi.
All right. Thank you.